Yo, what's up, guys? It's the Insane Game Freak here. Back at it again with an impromptu stream because I didn't plan the stream. But I don't like to disappointment people who believed in me. So, we're streaming this. And if you're watching this on the playback, hi, you're on the playback. Join the stream next time.
Welcome to the playback dimension.
So, first off, it's kind of our OG crew here today, which is Tyrone. What's up, man?
Hello, everybody. Tyrone the God 3 here, ready to go back into the movie realm.
Richie.
Hey, it's been a while. I can't wait to surprise y'all with some opinion.
Oh Lord. And Kevin.
Sup?
I get bitches. So
So,
My voice just got so
bonjour.
oh God. Trying to be fucking fancy. So the premise of this stream / video is, since we've already reviewed all the main films and we're not touching 22 until it comes out for the rest of us. Some of us have already seen it, but most of us haven't, and that's the fucking problem. So the main point here is that we're gonna rank the films that we've reviewed because we've done all the films that are out.
Oh, whoops.
What is that?
Sorry, I accidentally was moving my EV and I accidentally squished the voice
I
button.
knew it.
Hey,
I heard something cute in the background. I thought someone was stepping on a mouse.
No.
And
If
then
you
I
click this button here, you'll hear Evie, actually. It's actually very adorable.
Looks like Chucky didn't pay his rent.
Oh.
Oh my God, I'm gonna get
Yeah.
diabetes before this ends.
Right.
Build-A-Bear.
But yeah, so the premise of the video is we're gonna rank the movies from worst to best. So we're starting at the worst, and then we end at the best, because we've already reviewed them all, even though not all of us have been in every single review. And Polyworld is cutting off my hosting notification.
You will never know who hosted it.
I guess
Right.
Yeah, we will never know.
That might be a problem. Fuck you, Poly.
Oh.
You sound like a cat. It was like meow 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 meow. Okay, so the way we're gonna do this is pretty simple. We're gonna do this in chunks of 5. So, like, I give my bottom 5, Tyrone gives his bottom 5, Richie gives his bottom 5, and KG gives his bottom 5, and then we discuss it. Because I imagine we're gonna have some overlap, but there might be like the one or two like outliers. And thanks,
Which
guys.
one's the fake?
And thanks, guys, for showing
Right.
up in the chat. So I'll start it off because it's not really. See, I'm so used to Tyrone doing like a plot summary, but you don't do that here, so it's weird.
How do you do that?
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
I know it's weird to just cut. To
All
the
right,
chase.
time to do a plot summary for all 21 movies at once. All right, here we go. Pokemon movie 1.
Wait, what?
Like Superman. Pokemon movie 1 is in the battle movie. All right, well, okay, I'll do a rundown of every movie that we've done so far then. Okay. So movie
The story's
1
so
is
All right.
movie 1 is the Mewtwo movie, Pokemon movie 1, Mewtwo Strikes Back. Movie 2 is the Lugia movie, Pokemon movie 2000, also known as The Power of One. Movie 3 is the Entei movie, also known as Pokemon The Spell of Unknown. Movie 4 is Pokemon Forever with Suicune. Movie 5 is Latios and Latias' movie Pokemon Heroes. Movie 6 is Jirachi's Wishmaker. Movie 7 is Deoxys. We just call it Deoxys, but it's movie 10 is supposed to be Destiny Deoxys. Movie 8 is Lucario and the Mystery of Mew. Movie 9 is Pokemon Rangers in the Temple of the Sea. Movie 10 is Destiny is Darkrai? It's just Darkrai, isn't it?
Yeah, never
Yeah,
change
yeah.
Darker.
Yeah, Return of Darkrai. Movie 11 is Giratina and the Sky Warrior. Movie 12 is Arceus and the Jewel of Life. Movie 13 is
Zoroark,
Yeah, it's
Master of
Zoroark.
Illusions.
Master of Illusions. Movie 14 is a dual movie between Victini and the White Hero, aka Victini and the Black Hero. Which sounds really racist now that I just said it like that.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Movie 15 is Kiram and the
Swords of Justice.
Swords of Justice. Yeah. Movie 16 is
Genesect.
Genesect. Yes, Extreme Speed Genesect. Movie 17 is Diancie and the Cocoon of Destruction. Movie 18 is Crap of Ages. Movie 19 is Volcanion and the Doesn't it have a
Mechanical
subtitle?
Marvel.
Yeah, Volcanion and the Mechanical Marvel.
Yeah.
Movie 20 is I Choose You. And finally, movie 21 is Pokemon The Power of Ice.
Okay.
All right. Now you can go.
Okay, so the way we're going to start off is worst film first. I'm going to make a big deal for 21 because 21 is the worst film. This is the film that me and the rest of the crew here find to be the absolute worst film. And for me, my number 21 is Giratina and the Sky Warrior.
Okay.
It took me a quick minute to realize, but dude, fuck this film.
I actually have a question for that.
What's the question?
All right, my first question is, what made movie 11 for you worse than movie 4?
Okay, first off, before I answer that, Tyrone, what is your least favorite film?
Okay, so my 21. My movie 21 will be Hoopa and the Crap of Ages.
Damn. Richie.
Okay. We're just naming our first one, right?
Yeah, just the first one.
Okay. The Selby movie.
Okay.
And KG?
My worst one would be the Raikou. That was from the special.
No, you
That's
cannot
not a
pick
movie.
Legend of Thunder.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Also, we're talking films here, you dick.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Now we're just gonna.
That's like an OVA.
Worst one for me personally. Oh, this is a toughie. Honestly. Yeah, I'm gonna have to give Giratina that title.
All right,
Damn.
all right. We got two for
Mike,
Giratina. We got two for Giratina, one for Suicune, and one for Hoopa.
Okay.
Also, was I cutting off or?
You cut out
A little
for
bit.
for a
For a little
second.
You were.
Yeah,
A second,
for like a
but
second.
you're fine.
All right.
To answer your question real quick, Richie, the reason why I find Giratina to be the most, because there's nothing redeemable about that film. There's nothing in that film that is what I consider remotely good or worth rewatching.
There's
That is
only
a-
one good thing.
I'm not saying that the film doesn't have anything good in it. I just mean for me, there is nothing that comes close to deal with the bullshit is having a terrible partner legendary for this film, and Giratina being essentially a dick for like 2 hours. It has cool visual design. I'll give it that.
And then they pulled us last minute. Giratina wasn't a dick. He was trying to warn us of the.
Yeah, I hate that film. I hate that
Damn,
film.
when you put it like that.
I hate that film with a passion. So now I ask you, why is Celebi the worst film of all 21 movies?
Not really engaging for me. I thought the setting was kind of lazy. Like, I get it, but because for me, I like a setting that's just not all in one place for a majority of the fucking movie. Like, it's not like, have it somewhere on like an island, have it somewhere on a city, town, but not in the fucking forest. Or like,
There is a lot of Pokemon episodes that kind of take place in a forest.
That's true.
I
Yeah,
get
well,
it.
But
Pokemon
man,
I get it.
together.
I feel like this is super harsh for the fourth film. But go
I mean,
ahead.
yeah, it had the.
Well, I
emotional
think Richie's argument is that, well, Richie, were you there when movie 4, like, how old were you when movie 4 came out?
Let me actually look at Boba P because I'm still.
Isn't
crafting
movie
the list.
for like early 2000s? It's like
It
Yeah, I
came
wanna
out-
say early,
It came out
yeah.
October
2003?
2002. No,
Oh,
2002.
2002.
Is that in
So
Japan
how
or
old were
America?
America.
So how old were you?
That was for me.
You probably would have been like 4, 5.
Yeah, because I was born in '97, so.
So yeah, that wasn't.
Right,
too
yeah,
long.
you would've
It
been
was
5.
8, 9.
I would have been like 5 years old.
You would have 5. So you probably didn't you didn't watch it when it first came out, did you?
No, I didn't even start watching.
So, yeah,
Pokemon
you
until,
didn't
like,
even-
AG.
Yeah, so you didn't even get a chance to have a nostalgic trip with it.
No, not really.
So yeah, this is completely unbiased, by the way.
Okay. And
I mean, I kind of get it. Like, movie 4 dramatically drops from the legends that are 1, 2, and 3.
I mean, yeah,
Like, it lost a lot of momentum.
but it's not one of those movies I can't stand to rewatch. I guess that's my issue with it.
Okay, yeah.
And then Tyrone, yours is the only other different one.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's the Hoopa movie, and just I don't like. I'm a big person with who cares for character development and in-depth story. So when you throw a bunch of legendary Pokemon in to fight each other, it kind of feels like this movie was made by a kid that was like, oh, what if fucking Palkia and Dialga and fucking Latios and Rayquaza just fucking and just knocked them all together. It's stupid. It's fucking
I imagine
stupid.
I imagine a
Fuck
man.
out of here.
I imagine a man in a suit is holding a bunch of Pokemon figures and just screaming incoherently at his team like, look, it's a Giratina, and then it's a Lugia, and it's a Ho, and it's a Rayquaza.
Yeah, like on face value, it sounds like a fan fiction idea. It's so not even a good fan fiction idea. It just sounds like a 7-year-old kid was allowed to direct one movie. They were like, you get one. And he was like, I know what I'll do. And it's fucking even Hoopa acts like the fucking 7-year-old kid in question. He's like, I just bring a bunch of legendary Pokemon to fucking kill each other. That'll be fun for an hour, right? No, it won't.
Fucking ass.
Rant over.
And Katie, did you have anything to add as far as about Giratina or no?
The only redeeming thing I loved about it was the fact that the movie theme song that came from it, the best thing about it. I love that song so much. It's from Crystal Key, I believe it was called. No, that's the name of the artist, I believe it was. But the name of the song is called One. That's like one of my favorite movie theme songs from the DP series.
Okay then.
So that's really it.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna go with my first chunk of. So this will be.
So we picked the worst, so now we're just going uphill now.
Yeah. So this will be 20.
Everything goes downhill from here. Wait.
Right.
You bastard. Because the numbers go down. Get it, guys? That's funny.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go from 20 to 16. That's what these next ones are. So my 20 is Arceus. Because
Okay.
fuck that movie.
Okay.
19 is Genesect.
Okay.
18 is probably the most controversial one. I'm probably gonna get a lot of shit for this one.
I want to hear this one.
18 is the first movie.
Oh shit.
Actually, you know what? Never mind. Take that
Ooh,
back.
that's
I
gonna
know
be
how
it.
much you hate the first movie.
That's interesting.
17 is Hoopa.
Wait, what?
Yeah. 17
What?
is Hoopa. I told you.
He didn't. He already said it in the review. He didn't think it was as offensive as we thought it was.
Yeah. 17 is Hoopa and 16 is I Choose You.
Yeah, but what the? Wow. Okay. Okay.
So those
Okay.
those are my. That's
Wait,
Repeat
you said
those?
17 is I Choose You? Holy
no,
shit!
no,
All
no,
right.
no. Hoopa's 17. 16 is I Choose You.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so to repeat that again, the list for me.
Okay, so it's obviously Giratina's my least favorite. The Arceus film is my second least favorite. Where am I at? 19. Where are you at? I just said it a minute ago. Oh, Genesect is my third. So my top 3 terrible movies is Giratina, Arceus, and Genesect. Yeah. And then it's the first movie, Hoopa, and I Choose You.
I feel like I should write this down just in case.
I'm
I
writing
have
it
mine
down
written
now.
down.
Like
That's-
this is the plus side of being in the studio room.
This is why I had
right
mine.
by me.
That's why I had it written down. So those are my bottom 5.
Damn, I'm surprised one film is not in there.
Oh, you. So when I started doing this list, I was surprised where certain films ended up. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Tyrone, I know you already have your list written down. So.
And
go-
we're going all the way up to 16.
Yeah, 16.
All right, cool. All right, so I have for number 20 is Giratina.
Okay.
For number 19 is
All right, just finished
Genesect.
my list. Thank God.
Yeah, for number 19 is Genesect.
Okay.
For number 18 is Suicune. For number 17 is Deoxys. And
Wow.
for number 16 is Arceus.
Oh shit!
I'm not surprised because I know you don't like that film nowhere near as much as I've grown to enjoy it. But damn. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Richie.
All right, so 20 through 16. All right, number 20 for me is Hoopa, so not a surprise.
Okay.
Okay.
19 was Giratina.
All right.
I feel like this next one may shock some. I don't know,
Mhm.
but I didn't really find anything interesting to this one. Just like movie 4, but except I can actually watch it again.
Okay.
18 for me is the Manatee movie.
Wow.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
That's kind of low, but all right.
All right, 17 is Diancie, and then number 16 is Genocide.
Got it.
Richie has some of the weirder choices.
Yeah, it's like it's so
Because
different.
I don't know if I would co-sign on Diane.
Well, that's why we made this video.
It's
because
fine. It's fine.
shit. Yeah.
And then KG.
Yeah, KG guy.
All right, so this is my list right now. Number 20, I'd probably put Arceus. Number 19, I would put the Genesect film.
Right.
Number 18, I want to put Destiny Deoxys.
Okay.
17, I'm going to put Hoopa. And then 16, I'm going to put the first film.
Oh shit.
Okay. See, all right. So since we do share a good chunk of the bottom tier, seem to be somewhat similar. Let's talk about the ones that are kind of weird.
Richie.
Richie, you have two. Richie, you have the Manaphy film and the Diancie film. I can kind of understand the Manaphy film because it's very similar to the Jirachi film. That
Basically, I feel like movie 9 is just literally a carbon copy of movie 6, but except there's fucking water in there.
Oh no, it is. I can understand why. I can understand why it's low. I don't know if I would put it that low, but I can understand why it'd be low.
I only put it that low because of my opinions of the other movies. So it's not necessarily the movie's total fault, but it's just how I weigh the other movies. So that might be why.
And then the Diancie film, why?
That
one I just don't get.
Decent film,
I
but
thought the worst part of it was the ending. That's literally.
I like Diancie's.
I mean, the ending was just kind of like, all right, I guess that's a curveball. That's not the curveball I want, but sure, okay.
And yeah, for those in the chat talking, yeah, the Arceus is just a bad fucking film. Like, and it's really bad considering
It retcons everything.
So Arceus to that and Arceus to me. Well, I'll explain it when I put it in my position. Why I put it in my position, man.
Well, go ahead, because that's the film. We've already addressed Richie's two weird ones. And
So
we all
to
put,
me,
and we all put
Yeah, the
Arceus
dance
on.
movie was just very on.
the problem with Arceus's movie ranges outside of the movie itself and more into the Pokemon. Arceus itself. Arceus has some really big fucking shoes to fill because he's the god of all. I hate when Pokemon does this shit. When you play,
Didn't only do it once?
well, legendary Pokemon. So legendary Pokemon bug me a lot with how they're treated in the anime. Legendary Pokemon are always treated as like these deities among deities. If one were to move 1 inch away from its home, then the entire fucking world falls the fuck apart. And like they're just supposed to be representations of like things that they're supposed to be like the Loch Ness Monster and Bigfoot and shit. Like they're supposed to be so rare that people may debate on whether they even exist. And if you find one, obviously it's going to be powerful because it's rare for a reason. Arceus they label him as the god of all of all life, all of it. Not even just Pokemon, the god of everything. So the problem is that Arceus has to feel it. What conflict can bring Arceus problems? Or what conflict needs us to involve the god of all Pokemon? Some dude stole his fucking jewelry and now he's mad. Ooh, like fuck
Why
what?
you? Jesus
What?
Christ.
That's not Arceus worthy. You built him up to be the god of Pokemon.
You know
mean
what's
to
one-
tell me
you-
that they
you know
couldn't
what's-
make Giratina super strong to match up against them or something?
You know one thing about Arceus? You could literally turn off the nameplates and you wouldn't even tell that was the god of Pokemon.
Maybe it's like Ash and the others have to find every plate and gather them together to get Arceus, but along the way they meet up with like some fucking evil Pokemon or some bad guys who want the plates for their own bad purposes. No, Arceus is just like, fuck you, human, you betrayed me. It's like, then he just throws a conniption fit, so they gotta go back in time, and
You just don't have any patience
he
for this
just,
shit.
I don't know, Arceus just doesn't live up to the expectations that we would believe a god Pokemon to live up to. When you have a Pokemon that is God, you have to meet some expectation for it. And Pokemon does not do well when it comes to stories on that level. Arceus would require a story that's far too mature for kids to handle.
Yeah.
But they'll never dig deep enough on it. The Power of Us is probably, well, we're skipping ahead, but the Power of Us is probably the closest thing I think that could ever handle an Arceus plot.
But we're not gonna. Not
Yeah,
yet.
we're not gonna
Because it
dive
hasn't
too
shown up
deep.
in
Not
any
yet.
of
Not
our,
yet,
it hasn't
buddy.
shown up in
Yeah.
any of our lists yet, which will be interesting.
But I think that's one of the biggest problems I have with Arceus, and I put him at 16. So
Yeah, I guess I should probably talk about my two outliers, which would be the first movie and I Choose You. The first movie I had at 18, and then I Choose You I had at 16. I Choose You is not. It's one of those movies I almost kind of walk away from and go, "What the fuck was the point?" Like, it's one of those films that I can't like expressively say it was like poorly animated or anything. I think I just walk. It's like it's not really rewatchable, and I don't really give a fuck about this plot, and the side characters aren't fleshed out enough, and this is gonna be kind of a running theme for some of the films. I'm so burnt out on the Pikachu plotline shit that like Pikachu focused films tend to like degrade over time with me. I tend not to enjoy them as much because Pikachu's always around and they do that plotline in specials, in the movies, in fucking episodes. So it doesn't mean that much. And it's like a half-ass retelling. So even the nostalgic bits I have for I Choose You, they're rushed versions of the original. So I don't. Yeah, and Marsha was forced.
Yeah,
I think one of the
you could've had
biggest
that movie without
problems.
it.
I didn't put it on my list yet, but I think one of the biggest problems that I keep saying Power.
I Choose You.
One of the biggest problems that I Choose You has is once you wipe away the nostalgia glasses for a second, what is this movie exactly? Like that's I think its biggest issue. Is like this movie outside of the pandering doesn't have much of an identity, and the identity it tries to gain, it doesn't grow it enough. So when you wipe all of that away, you're left with like a very weak movie.
Yeah. And then my other outlier would be the first movie. It's the first movie.
Yeah, you gotta explain that one.
Look, the first movie to me is just kind of a waste of time in a lot of ways for me. It's one of those films that like it's cool before it's nostalgia, but when you look at it logistically as a film, Mewtwo is like the only interesting character in that film. And that's not saying a lot considering the events of that film don't fucking matter. I hate that ending. I hate that it essentially boils down to...
the ending's dog shit.
I hate the fact that it boils down to real Pokemon are better than clone Pokemon because Mew's a fucking dickhead. And then they fight for like 10, 20 minutes. And then Ash commits suicide, kind of, sort of, and then gets revived. And that shows them the power that real Pokemon have. So we're just going to leave. But you don't need to remember this because this isn't important for you. I don't understand what there is to enjoy about the film. There's like maybe there's probably about 2 or 3 good moments in it. That's why it's not the worst film. And it's the first film, so I don't really have a problem putting it that low because I would hope that the later films would be better. It just
didn't age well.
It does not age well at all.
It makes me curious to see how they handle Strikes Back Evolution now.
It weirds me out because this is, for me, with movie 1 at least, a lot of what Terrell says is true, but I think the reason it's not this low on the list for me is because of the Americanization treatment that it got.
means you
the
like
treatment,
you
The
like
and
nostalgia,
he
basically.
enjoys.
well,
the
not even
dub.
just the nostalgia, not even just the nostalgia, just the enhancements that they gave movie one. Because movie one was out during a time where if Hollywood wanted to do something, they put in fucking like hard sweat to make sure that it was at least presentable. Now they just plop out and fart out any movie that seems somewhat viewable. Anything can be on there, but they went through effort. They made a soundtrack. They grabbed like fucking celebrities on here. They did shit to make it better. They got 2 deals with fucking Burger King, and Topps made more fucking cards for movie one.
I understand that, but it's not, to me, that's more of the impact of the movie instead of the movie itself.
Right. I would say movie. Yeah, I was gonna say that, but like movie one, even in the movie, like the soundtrack kind of reflects the actions that are taking place, like how the music, how the music goes up during the action scenes, goes down during the mellow parts, and
It gave us the tears of life, damn it.
Mewtwo has an official theme song there, whereas in the anime they just use, in the Japanese version they just use music from the anime, which is nice, but sometimes it doesn't fit the aesthetic of what's going on at the time. I think, like, for example, you'll never forget when Ash goes, "You can't do this. I won't let you," and the fucking drums are like, it's like, it's just cool. It's fucking cool. It's just, you hear these military drums coming out while Ash was walking with the Pokemon. That shot right there made fucking 1999's marketing right there. That alone sold like 6 billion toys.
It's because of those moments that it's not the worst film. It's just that other films have done better moments, and like
Compared to that.
yeah, so that's why it's so low. I guess the only other film we can talk about, well, technically it hasn't shown up on mine, but it's shown on everyone else's list, I think.
Mm-hmm.
The Deoxys film. Why is the Deoxys film so low?
What? It's not showing up for me yet.
Yeah, I think it's me and Richie hasn't shown up for it yet.
I got Deoxys on 18.
And I think, didn't it show up for Tyrone?
Deoxys is on 17.
Yeah, so.
So mine is a little lower then, I guess.
All right, well, explain you both of
Should
your
we?
cases.
Yeah, but so
Yeah,
should we,
KG, you can go first since you're lower on the list.
Oh, okay. I just hate the film. It genuinely just... Okay,
just hate the film.
The start of the film when Ash goes to the tower and how they treat that. The setting and location that we're in for this film wasn't exactly entertaining to go through. It just felt so generic, especially when you're in this kind of world that's with all these robots and mechanics and machines and whatnot. You know, you would think that this would create something cool, but I think the film's biggest issue is that it doesn't really utilize it to its fullest potential. The only time I saw it really, and it even wasn't that really great, was during the climax of the film when all the machines just start randomly getting together and creating this giant pile. First of all, where the fuck did all those machine boxes come from? You're telling me that there's more of those bots than like
right.
the world itself? Like they just multiplied like bunnies out of nowhere. I'm like, where the hell did these things come from?
It's like it's like the movie solved its conflict too early, so it needed to create a new conflict.
Yeah, but the new conflict doesn't have any sort of, explanation as to how there are so many of them that just randomly pop out of nowhere. You know what I mean? They just like, it's like there are more machines than there are actually citizens in that city. You know, it's ridiculous to me. So that whole scenario with the machines just randomly piling up, and also to add to that, managing to actually engulf an entire giant structure of a skyscraper. That's just insane that there were that many robots just roaming around the city, So, and also, speaking of which, can we also say how these people that live in this city are similar to like the goddamn folks in Station Square from Sonic Adventure 1? Where they just are
they
there
all evacuate
and then
instantly.
vanish.
Yeah.
They vanished into thin air. Like what the fuck happened here? So it felt super rushed, that third act, and I just honestly hated it because of it. It felt like they had so much potential, but the third act is where things really start dropping, and you feel it if you start taking notice at certain things that just don't really add up with one another. So that's my take on it.
One of my
Tyrone, if you have anything else to add.
Well, let's see. Well, because I don't think anyone's named Genesect yet, have they?
Yeah.
Genesect is at 19 for me.
Yeah,
Yeah, Genesect was at 19 for me as well.
It's 19 for me.
Genesect was my 16.
It's just a bad fucking film.
Yeah, it's a bad movie. But I'll talk about Deoxys for a minute because there's one thing I want to touch on.
I won't talk about the good points until it shows up in my list.
Yeah, but traumatization, right? Traumatization is one of the things I feel is a very heavy subject, not just for Pokemon, just in life. Pokemon does this thing sometimes where it tries to lift something heavy and then realizes it's heavy and goes, well, put it on a truck. We're not holding this shit. And that's Pokemon traumatization in this movie, and that's how it's handled. They have a kid. They have a main character who's afraid of Pokemon because he was traumatized by Pokemon. And rather than face it head on, the movie has Ash downright conflict with this kid because he has traumatization with Pokemon. Then when they call Ash out on his flaws, he goes, "Oh, my bad." And rather than like have a talk or make up with him and like have it develop, his fears be like developed over the time of the movie, no, we're just gonna have Pokemon fucking play on a playground for about 4 minutes while this dumbass song plays. He's over it now. He's over it. Now, traumatization has ended, people. He's back to normal. He's ready to go out there. Oh yeah, the Plusle and Minor may give him a spook here or there, but he's essentially cured now. And you fuck a therapist.
So
That's why.
I'm not gonna throw my counters out until I get to it on my list.
All right.
So we did all the way up
you'd be
to
surprised with that
16. So I'm gonna go from 15 to 11 because obviously we do top 10 is top 10. So
Right.
15,
Wait, we're going all the way to how?
We're doing.
We're actually doing a pretty good pace right now.
Yeah, we're going from 15 to 11.
Oh, okay, good.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So
yeah.
all right, starting off, 15 for me is Darkrai.
All right.
14 for me is Volcanion. 13 for me is Celebi. 12 for me is Diancie. And 11 for me is Deoxys.
Okay.
Okay, Tyrone.
Okay, so 15 for me is gonna be darn it, where did I put my paper? There it is. Okay. 15 for me is gonna be Manaphy. 14 for me is going to be I'm gonna go ahead and put I didn't write this one down. Sorry. 14 for me is going to be
Wouldn't it be the one that's left?
No, it's gonna be fucking
Motherfucking
shut up. It's I Choose You, goddammit.
Oh, okay.
It's I Choose You. 13 for me is going to be, and that one's a new one actually. It took the place of one that would have been here. 13 is going to be let's see, where am I at? I'm afraid I'm gonna count a movie twice. That's my biggest fear right now.
That's why you have Notepad.
I'm writing it, yeah.
Yeah, you're writing it as you're doing the list.
Yeah.
Right.
Mister, I have it written down.
Yeah, I did. I wrote the first few down and then I just stopped. 13 for me is going to be.
Screen stopped on me. Hold on, let me
Uh-oh.
refresh. Hold on.
Well, what happened?
No, just stream just randomly stopped.
Yeah. Okay, 13 is going to be Jirachi Wishmaker. 12 is going to be. Oops. 12 will be. I really don't want to do this, but it's going to be Victini.
Oh, actually, no, that's not bad.
No, I don't want. I didn't want to do it, but I had to.
Yeah, as I said, the higher I got into the list, I was surprised.
Yeah, I just it bugs me now. 11 is Darkrai, and then finally
No. 11's where we stop.
Oh yeah, we don't do
Because we're gonna do
you're
top
right,
10.
You're right. Yeah, I
stuff.
keep forgetting we did 21 first. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good. So yeah, so it goes Manaphy, I Choose You, Jirachi, Victini, and Darkrai.
Okay.
Everybody got that down?
Richie.
Okay, making sure. All right. Number 15 for me is the Arceus movie. Then number 14. Then number 14 is I Choose You. 13 for me is the, and I was actually kind of surprised. I put this a little bit high, but whatever. 13 for me is the Volcanion movie. Number 12 for me is the Victini movie. Well, 2 of the films. And then number 11 for me is the Zorak movie.
Okay. And then KG.
I noticed. I think a lot of us are just similar,
naming
but
the
it's
same
just
ones
differently
now,
numbered.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're floating in different directions.
Me and Tyron literally had the same
I
exact
think
IQZ
it's
ranking.
ironically enough, I think it's this section of films where we were just kind of like, you're not good enough to be top 10, but you're better than what I thought you'd be. I think
Right,
that's-
pretty much.
But go ahead, KG.
I rewatched some of the films anyways.
Number 15 is going to be I Choose You. Number 14 is going to be Darkrai.
All right.
Number 13
Okay.
is going to be Jirachi.
Ooh, okay.
Number 12 is going to be Victini for me.
Hey.
And number 11 is going to be Manaphy.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's kind of close. I think I'm the one who has the weirder choices of you guys. I think the rest of you, I'm more baffled. Arceus is that high up for you, Richie. I believe. Richie, you had it at what, 14,
15.
15. I'm
That's
surprised.
pretty
that,
high considering.
Yeah,
Arceus-
because Arceus is fucking dog shit.
But then again, yeah, that's Richie's opinion. So
That
he-
is Richie's
he should
opinion.
stay.
So,
dog shit.
Richie.
so,
Every time I think I got you figured out.
Interesting.
so the scenes, the consistent ones was Manaphy, Darkrai, Jirachi. Were those the 3 consistent ones? Manaphy, Darkrai, and Jirachi?
I think so.
Where they hung
Victini.
and Victini. Victini was
Yeah,
the other one.
Victini's in there.
Yeah, Victini. That's
I
like 3 films.
regretfully put Victini there, but I put him there.
Okay, when you say you regretfully, do you think it's not? Do you think? All right, put it this way. Do you
I
think?
wish I could put this movie higher. I really want to, but the movie has
Okay,
a
so
great
okay, that's
yeah.
the way. Okay, I mistook it then because I thought it
Yeah.
was.
I put it there for a reason. I'm standing behind my choice. The problem is I don't want to because I know the movie has far more potential than what it's giving me. It just doesn't use it.
But it's still good though.
Oh, it's a good movie. That's the problem. It's good. It's using it's at 50% of its power right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I think that comes with the fact that it was very committed to its gimmick, which, shit happens.
Yeah. It's weird because I think I have the more different of you 3, having things like Darkrai at 15 and I'm trying to think, having Deoxys at 11. That was probably the other one. I'm trying to think. It was Deoxys, Darkrai, Volcanion. I think is higher. Actually, neither of you have mentioned Volcanion, have y'all?
I mentioned no, I did not mention Volcanion yet.
I'm more surprised it's that high. It's higher. It's in top 10 territory.
X and Y, I think, is kind of backing up my Volcanion.
Well, I'm more surprised it's
placements.
high for KG then.
Didn't he
Are you
review it with
surprised,
me?
though?
I said Volcanion was my favorite X and Y film.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
And
But
then-
Yeah, it's my
now
favorite
I
too.
realize
Shiny
that, and then
turn.
there's a bit of a change for that.
so I guess
Because-
I'll explain Deoxys and Celebi because those Celebi's 13 for me, and Deoxys is 11. Deoxys was so close to being top 10, and I couldn't really justify it, and that was the problem.
Damn.
What?
Hey, shit
Deoxys,
happens.
Deoxys. See, okay, so here's the thing. First off, Tyrone is full of shit as far as the trauma shit he was talking earlier.
Ooh.
That is a bunch
That's
of
fine.
bull. Personally, I think that's a bunch of bull. I think he was traumatized the majority of the film. Even with the whole going out and play section of the movie, he didn't get over his trauma at the end of that section. He wasn't over it. He still was struggling with it. He didn't get over it until the very end when Plusle and Minun were falling and he had to catch them off of the boxes. That, to me, is when he got over his fear. He was making... I also think...
I feel like the movie didn't touch on his traumas enough because it was too busy having Rayquaza fight fucking Deoxys and
listen,
face.
one of the movie's biggest problems is that it suffers. The whole Deoxys and Rayquaza plotline is very, very primal, which in some ways I like because it's different, but it also seems kind of ridiculous in other ways. Like, you fell into my airspace. Fuck you, now you're dead. Like, that's literally the whole, that's literally the premise. Part of me likes that, though, because it's different. The thing about Deoxys, I think Deoxys aged better than people give it credit for, especially because, for one, I think it has some of the better side characters in the movies. just because the way they're used and they're consistently used and they're consistently around. I like the kind of survival aspect that the movie gets around like the second half of it when Deoxys is essentially locked down the town. I think it has a beautiful fucking art style. It's fucking gorgeous.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
It has some weird issues with it, but because I will agree it doesn't handle the trauma at the beginning. It doesn't handle the trauma stuff well. I couldn't justifiably put it lower because I actually enjoyed it now more than I did originally. It actually I liked it more in its second viewing.
Oh yeah, that's why it's not my worst film. Like
That's
back then,
why
I considered it my worst, but when rewatching it again, it does change a little bit.
It holds up better than I thought
Yeah,
it
it
did.
ages pretty well.
So that's why it's high. It's higher than it probably should be. And Celebi does not age well, but it doesn't age as badly as I think some of the other films. I think the biggest problem Celebi has is in a very samey area, and its main gimmick isn't inherently that interesting, which is the time travel and Ash hanging out with a young Professor Oak. Like that, it's a cool thing, but it comes at the very end of the movie like a fucking Easter egg. What helps
and that
a
was
lot,
added at the end as well for like
that was an English thing.
well, I mean, the scene's in the Japanese version, isn't it?
Wait, it is?
the post-credit thing.
The scene where he like puts the sketchbook back in the
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I thought that was an English exclusive thing.
No. That's in both versions.
Okay.
Hold on, let me go and check on that real quick.
What helps it for me though is it has a lot. I think the Celebi with Sam and Ash, I think it has a lot of heart. Literally, what saves this film is Sam, Ash, and Celebi because of their interactions and whatnot. That's it. If it wasn't for that, this movie would be way lower. That's why I think it's the only, next to the first film, it's the only other one that's out of the top 10, even though it's a part of the first 5 films. I'm trying to think. I think that.
Oh, hold on a second. I found something for the dub edit. The third scene is an alternate ending where it's ending where Ash calls Professor Oak again and then tells him about his adventure, and that's when he pulls the sketchbook of Celebi and Pikachu together.
So what?
That was a dub.
Okay.
So
that was
so it
originally
like-
added as a dub, yes.
Oh,
So
okay.
Yeah,
the
that
scene,
makes sense.
so the scene doesn't exist, or
It exists in the dub.
Yeah.
I don't see anything
That's
here
what
to
I thought.
mention.
so the dub added in the scene with Oak. hinting
Yeah, it
to
says here the director comments on the English DVD involving voice talent. They talk about watching the original ending and being completely confused on whether it meant that Oak and Sam were the same person or not. Once they confirmed that Oak and Sam were indeed the same person, they created the new ending to clearly show that they were the same for the English-speaking audience.
Oh, okay. So it was
Cool.
more.
As if we weren't
It was
stupid
more
enough.
vague in.
Damn.
It was more vague in the.
In the English version.
No, in the
And-
Japanese
In the
version.
Japanese side.
Yeah, in the Japanese, sorry, yeah.
And the English version made it more.
They just
obvious.
flat out told you, yeah.
Oh, hey, Saban, I agree. That the CJ in that film did not age well.
No, especially the weird Kabutops monster.
Yeah, that shit was
Even though
kinda
it
weird.
barely looks like a fucking Kabutops to me.
That was a Kabutops?
They
That
kept
was
That
in
was?
Heroes.
No, that's what they called it. They called it a
Oh.
Kabutops.
All right, well, I don't believe it. Fuck you, Pokemon.
So yeah, I think those are my 2 outliers, and then I guess I'm trying to think.
Victini?
Victini. Well, no, Victini was. Victini's not in my top 11.
You were kind of wondering why Arceus was a little bit high for me.
Yeah, why is Arceus so high? I think that was the
That
one.
is.
That's
Yeah, well,
weird.
all right. Well, for those that weren't here for this segment, because I imagine there'll be a few of you doing the playback.
Yeah, I wasn't here.
Yeah, I know you weren't. But movie 12 for me was number 15. Now, the reason why I have it a little bit higher compared to the others is because, yeah, the time travel may be kind of a mess, but I thought there were a few things that were pretty good. At least to me, it were. It's still kind of strung it together. I'm not sure if that's the appropriate word. Strung everything together decently, even though it's not great. I say it's around like the middle. Actually, was pretty good, but it's not the best ever, which is kind of disappointing considering this is fucking Arceus, but whatever.
Right.
It's not stupid, but it's just kind of dull. Like it's not one of those things where I look at it and I'm like, oh, this is stupid. Well, most of the time I'm just like, this is kind of dull.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, those are just a few of my positives. And obviously the main the main problem I had with it was, you know, and I mentioned this to Tyrone earlier, is that you can literally turn off the name tags or nameplates, whatever, on the Pokemon, and you wouldn't even notice that was the god of Pokemon. And then when you turn it back on, you're like, wait, this is the god of Pokemon? He looks like a fucking wimp.
Well, that's the reason why we were surprised you had it so high.
I don't know.
Because it's
a little bit.
It's such a poor portrayal of him.
A little bit also is nostalgia, because remember, around that time was when I kind of just started getting the Pokemon full time. Like movie 10 was the first movie I ever watched on the Cartoon Network when they premiered it. Then movie 11, fuck me, and then movie 12, well, it's just it's around the middle for me. Like, it's not great, but it's also not the worst I've seen. So
to be fair, it's probably the third worst Diamond and Pearl film, which is funny because there's only 4.
I mean, yeah. If we're talking about a trilogy, I have no problem.
Because I think Darkrai and
I put it number 3.
I was gonna say because I think Darkrai and Zoroark are better films than the fucking Arceus film. The only reason.
Well, actually, wait a minute. When we did the Sinnoh trilogy, I specifically put in Arceus at number 3. So yeah.
So it's the second worst of the Diamond and Pearl films.
Right.
So
yeah. Because number 4 is Giratina, number 3 is Arceus, and then the other 2 are just you'll figure it out.
The other ones most of us had was either Victini, Darkrai, I think,
Manaphy,
and Jirachi.
Yeah, Jirachi.
I don't really.
And I Choose You was 15 for me.
Wait. So we're going there. Yeah, I put I Choose You for number 14.
Okay,
yeah,
so I guess if y'all want to talk about the higher points, because to be fair, I don't have it that much lower. I had it at 16. I think KG had it at 15.
Yeah, you had a couple of points below.
Yeah, I just had it a little higher compared to others.
I mean,
but it's not necessarily because I
have it higher because. Oh, go ahead, KG. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say the only reason why is just because the other films just really rubbed me the wrong way compared to I Choose You, and also I can't deny the fact that the songs that are in I Choose You honestly also gave it a bit of a boost. Also, it has my favorite goddamn theme song, the Oración theme.
The aesthetics of I Choose You are doing it well for me. It's like I Choose You has the benefit of looking really gorgeous and having a great soundtrack, but outside of that, I pretty much alongside Terrell for most of I Choose You. Like looking at every time I look at this movie, which I've unfortunately watched this movie 3 fucking times.
That's not bad.
Huh?
It's not bad.
It's not bad. It's not bad, but
it's
the
too
aesthetics,
goddamn much.
Yeah,
It's one too many.
the aesthetics of this movie are like the only thing. Like the music and everything are the only things that's like, yeah, this is decent. Where everything else just sort of is, yeah. It's like, why did I watch this?
Oh, I guess I'll mention it because Orion Sword and Savion in the chat are mentioning it. Because I think I have Darkrai the lowest. I have Darkrai at 15. Does anyone have Darkrai any lower than that?
Darkrai for me is at 14.
And
Darkrai for me.
We haven't gotten to mine yet.
Yeah, Darkrai for me was at like 11. Yeah, it's at 11.
Okay, I have it at 15. I think Darkrai is probably the best of the trilogy, but I also don't think the trilogy was that good to begin with.
Yeah, notice that most of them were in the bottom half.
The Darkrai plot, I feel like that movie gets way more praise than I think it really deserves because it's okay, but I don't think it's anything like special. It's a pretty, how do I put it? It's a pretty mediocre ass film. It's not right. It's not like bad, but there's nothing about it that makes it like overly interesting either. And then it gets kind of fucking ridiculous towards the end with the world disappearing and we gotta run up the clock tower to get the goddamn disc in to play the song, and oh look, the dimensions crumbling beneath our feet, and it
does get a little absurd.
I don't know, man. I don't.
My only thing that stops this movie from being slightly higher is Darkrai. Him coming back to life at the end of the movie. That he fucked it all up. Him coming back to life fucked his entire movie up for him. He could have been higher on this list if it weren't for that bullshit.
Okay. And then the only other thing I think is, I mean, talking about the Manaphy movie and talking about the Jirachi film is almost like talking about the same film.
Yeah, same thing.
Carbon copies.
One's May, one's Max. The only benefit I think the Manaphy movie had over Jirachi to me, I think, is that I liked May more as a character.
Even though I think Max has the better film.
Oh, Max's film is written better, but May, I just like May. That's
Your hatred for Max was so strong.
well, I'm looking at this movie by looking at May as a character. She didn't like Pokemon when the journey began. Now here she is being a mother to one.
So mystical of all things.
So we've come full.
Yeah,
circle
you
with
know
her.
what? Since that's the last film of AG, it does sort of make.
Yeah, that's why I know that seems kind of bullshit. Like it's like Tyrone's just using character development from the series to justify his love for the Manaphy movie. It just, to me, I don't know. When I see May run into a fucking Duskull at the first episode and go, to be truthful, I don't even like Pokemon. And now to her saying she loves you to fucking Manaphy, and Manaphy can only really say I love you back.
But to
I don't
her-
know. It just went, good job, May. You did something with your life.
Also, side note, I just want this to be pointed out. We haven't gotten to the main Max films on my list yet.
Yeah, we have.
So you haven't gotten to Manaphy nor Jirachi.
Nope.
Yeah, so they're
Actually,
higher on your
interesting.
list.
To be fair,
But
we
yeah.
haven't even gotten to.
Haven't gotten to Jirachi for me.
We haven't even gotten to Victini on mine yet.
Really now?
Ooh.
There's
We
one
haven't,
film I'm
yeah.
surprised it still hasn't been said yet.
That's
Well,
hot.
No, because Tyrone started talking about Victini. Victini, I don't want to say anything because it's not on my list yet. I'll let Tyrone. I know Tyrone already put it.
Ramble.
Yeah, because Tyrone,
Alright, so
I
now
know
what?
you
Time
wanted to
for-
put it higher.
I did want to put it higher, but yeah.
Why?
Victini uses a lot of great elements. I love the whole truths and ideals plot. I love the fact that Ash actually utilizes a legendary, and it doesn't feel like he bullshitted the legendary. He actually worked for it, and in my eyes, him using Zekrom feels more complete than him using Reshiram, personally, because it just makes more sense with who Ash's character is.
Also,
And I
Zekrom
guess-
had the better film, honestly.
Yeah, I was gonna say also to debatably think here too, if I had to stop
Isn't
and
that
think
just
about
based
it.
on the music though?
Yes.
Yeah. But that
But-
every little thing counts.
Me as a
to-
okay, so when I got the game, obviously I played Pokemon White. That was the game I decided to play. So in that movie, in that game, you get to use Zekrom against N's Reshiram in the climactic battle. So when I saw Ash on the Zekrom fighting the main villain of the movie, well, the kind of villain in the movie using Reshiram, I don't know, it just felt perfect. But I can't base the movie off of my experience in the game. That'd be dumb. That's why it's not as high as it could be on this list, is because everything the movie, all the tools the movie has make it good. It just doesn't shoot towards that because it's focused on its whole, hey, look, we're two movies gimmick, which it's a nice gimmick given that Black and White's whole theme was, the differences between truth, ideals, separations, black, white, citizenship and technology versus magic and forest. So yeah, it's called like two opposing themes, yin and yang. It uses all of that really well, but it doesn't use it well enough for me to go, oh, that was a great movie. It just, Victini to me was a really great Pokemon in terms of like tiny little baby fairy-like Pokemon that'll be around us for the duration of the movie. Victini, to me, I believe is the best use of this mythical Pokemon plot. The problem with Victini, though, is that when the movie's over, it kind of feels like they don't know what to do with Victini. They're just like, it can roam around the city now. I'm like, yay. Cool. All right, let's go, guys. Movie over. Yeah. So yeah, the movie has every tool needed to be better. It just unfortunately gets locked. I think this was one of the problems of just being locked into a Pokemon movie. If this movie had the chance to break outside of its bonds or like was made at a later time, I think it would have flew a lot better for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think those were all the main chunks of movies that we need to touch.
Pretty much.
So, We've
Top
gone
10s?
with top 10. We're gonna do 10 through 6.
I wrote all these down now. The rest of them are written.
Okay, so we're gonna do 10 through 6, and I'll kick it off.
Good
Okay.
to know.
For me, 10 is Victini.
Okay.
9 is Manaphy. 8 is Jirachi.
Ooh.
7 is Zorark.
Mm.
And 6 is, where the hell is it? Oh, Lucario.
Wait, 6 is
Whoa,
Lucario.
6 is Lucario?
Yeah, 6 is Lucario.
Whoa.
We're gonna,
Okay.
and we'll get to it. We're gonna
Okay.
get
My turn.
Yeah, Tyrone, go for it.
All right, go after Tyrone.
All right. 10 is Diane. Wait, whoa. Richie was next. I'm sorry.
I say after.
Oh, okay. All right. 10 is Diancie. 9 is Volcanion. 8 is Mewtwo. 7 is Zorark.
Wait,
Just like-
Mewtwo.
Yeah, Mewtwo is movie.
Yeah,
movie one.
the first movie.
The movie one. Movie 7 is Zorark, and movie 6 is Kira.
I'm very surprised that we actually got the same spot for Zorark.
Yeah, movie 7.
All right, Richie.
All right. Number 10 for me is the Mewtwo movie, first one.
Okay.
It's 10.
Um,
Okay.
Number 9 is Jirachi. Number 8 is Deoxys.
Wow, you went
never-
higher than I did. Damn.
Number
Yeah.
7 is Darkrai.
Oh.
And number 6 is Latios and Latios. Or Pokemon Heroes, if you want to
Pokemon
read the
Heroes,
English
yeah.
dub.
Okay. And then KG.
Number 10 is Diancie.
All right, same as
Number 9 is the Power of One.
okay.
Number 8 is Volcanion. Number 7 is Latios and Latios, Pokemon Heroes. And then number 6 is Zorark.
I'm
I
very
thought Zorark would be higher for you.
I'm also surprised Power of Us is so low. No. Power 1 is Mewtwo, isn't it?
No, Power of One is
Mewtwo.
Lugia.
It's Lugia.
Oh,
Power of One is Lugia.
wow, that's crazy. What?
They just have the similar titles.
I'm more.
Yeah.
I'm more blown away too. Is not. Wow.
Yeah. So we
I'm
got a
genuinely
lot of work to
surprised
do.
when I was making this list, honestly. I was thinking-
Exactly. Yeah, this list will make you learn a lot about yourself.
Okay, so I know my outlier is 6. Why is 6 not in the? Most people are gonna be like, "What the fuck? Why isn't 6 in the top 5?"
Yeah, a lot of people.
Which
are-
is what? Which one?
Lucario.
Lucario and the
Okay.
Mystery of Mew. Yeah.
Tyrone. I'm trying to think. What was the one that was weird about yours? I think yours was pretty.
Wait, okay, I'll say it again. Diancie was 10, Volcanion was 9, Mewtwo was 8, Zorark was 7, and Kiran was 6.
I guess the Mewtwo one, honestly, is.
Okay,
Mewtwo
so-
and probably
Kieran
Diane.
says
And
it's a
why is
yikes.
Diancie so high?
Why is Diancie this high on the list?
Yeah, because for me it was 12.
Diancie was 10 for you, wasn't it, Tyron?
Diancie's 10 for me. I
Yeah,
like it.
I
So
think
same
I-
as mine.
Oh.
Yeah,
What?
yeah, we picked the same one.
I mean, I like Diancie, but I guess I don't know. I didn't.
I think we kind of got the XY. We know the characters more.
I mean,
No, not that.
I mean, you know what hurt it is that fucking ending. That was like the
Yeah, the ending was the thing that, but I couldn't.
Oh
like,
yeah, that's what stopped me from
the
putting it high on
beginning
the
of it
list.
is the beginning of it. The beginning of the movie is really good, and I enjoyed the beginning of it a lot.
Yeah, I
It's the-
like what
it's-
they do with it.
It's that fucking ending that hurt it a lot for me.
That's why it's not in my top 5. Sadly, it's that ending that really. messed
One
up.
of my big things too is I wish Ash would have utilized a lot more of his Pokemon, but
I think
whatever.
he utilized them as much as he could because they were still in their beginner stages anyway.
Oh yeah, you're right. This is the first XY movie.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Okay.
And
But yeah,
then
it's 10 because it's decent. I think this is like the first good movie we had after the horrid movies that were coming before it at that point. I think we got out of Genesect before this happened.
Yeah, Genesect. Genesect and Arceus were the ones that were taken out.
Oh yeah, Genesect and Arceus were so bad that
And
they
Giratina.
and Giratina that
Okay.
this movie was like a breath of fresh air to me.
so the interesting one, I believe. Okay, so let me explain Lucario real quick because I know that.
All
All
right.
right, yeah, let's
That
get into
one-
Lucario.
Lucario just fell out of it, and if you watched the Lucario Mystery Mew review, you knew based off of that review I didn't like the film as much as I did before. And to be fair, it's not really the film's fault. It's more of Pokemon's fault in general. I said one of the things about that film I don't care for nowhere near as much is the Ash and Pikachu plotline. And that's the main reason why it fell out of top 5 for me, really. It's just that, like, that plot line has been so overdone.
But Ash and Pikachu are separated this time.
Yeah, it's that plot line is so redundant for me that like it just I don't care. I also think I think the Reggies and the weird retconning of Mew's abilities and how Mew works was kind of fucking ridiculous. But literally the main reason why it will always probably be a top 10 film for me is Lucario. Lucario and Ash's relationship is the main reason why that movie will always be a top 10 film. It's just not a top 5 film anymore. I still think it's good. I still think it's a really good film, especially if you're new to Pokemon. I think it's a really good film and a good representation of Ash as a character. Yeah. But I can't. I think the Hoenn region focused on every character except like what, Brock. Yeah, but Brock ain't shit anyway, so it's fine.
That's true. Well, in terms of movies,
Aww.
So it's hard. It's hard for me. It's like I feel like it doesn't deserve to be out of top 5, but at the same time, 6 isn't bad. It's not like I put it at like 19.
No, it's like the runner-up of the top 5s.
Okay, so the one I guess the one that is also interesting is I'm trying to think. I guess
Richie's as well, because Richie's were some
yeah,
of them
you had Darkrai, and what was the do your list again real quick?
Yeah,
10 through 6.
Rich?
Oh, 10 through 6, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I was muted for a second. I forgot to turn it back on. But anyways, number 10 was Mewtwo, the first one. Number 9 was Jirachi. 8 was Deoxys. 7 was Darkrai. Number 6 was Latios and Latios.
Yeah, number 9 to 7 were the ones that were so obscure to me.
Yeah, I like Deoxys. I don't know if I like Deoxys that goddamn much.
To the top 10 material.
Well, why did Deoxys make it so far?
Number 7 is Darkrai, by the way. Deoxys is number 8.
Yeah, but still, it's still pretty high.
Darkrai,
Deoxys made it far, though.
I think Darkrai is high, personally.
Okay, well, explain Deoxys.
Although I understand, I know why Darkrai is high for Richie is because Gen 4 was the region he got back into it, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So it's like the one that gained the most connection with him.
Yeah, I would say most of it was nostalgia.
So what's up with Deoxys then?
Why is Deoxys so high? I mean, I like Deoxys, but damn.
I mean, the plot was pretty decent. Like, decent alien plot. Like, oh my god, this weird-looking alien, never seen it before. Characters are likable. Though the debate about whether they're useful or not is up to you. But besides that, I actually like Tori's arc a lot. Like, I know that the hand we have Trauma is like back and forth, but I thought they did a good job with the arc at the very least, and I feel like most people would look at this film under somewhat the same situation. Not when it comes to seeing an alien, but like, I guess people or kids with trauma can look at this film and be like, wow, there's a character I can relate to. So I feel like that's kind of a good plot point for certain groups of people to relate to.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, although the legendaries and the whole what do they call it? The block bots? Because apparently I had to look this up. That's what they're called, the block bot.
Block bots.
That I did not understand. The CG was okay, but it wasn't anything to get me riled up. But I would say movie 7 for me was mostly about the characters of why I liked it a little bit better or higher compared to some, instead of just the legendaries fighting and stuff like that. So, and I thought the emotional connection for the characters were, at least for Tori, was probably one of my higher points. I just thought the legendaries and the block bot could have been a lot better.
I can respect that, because even though I didn't put it as high, I still had it higher than like Tyrone or KG. I think people need to go back and rewatch Deoxys, honestly. I think Deoxys holds up better than people give it credit for.
It's aging pretty well, so yeah, you should go see it.
Obviously I know people disagree, but you know what we need to talk about?
Yeah.
The fucking champion of the Diamond and Pearl films is in top 10 for I think all of us, right? Except for Richie, is it top 10 for you?
Darkrai is number
Zorak.
7.
No. Oh, okay.
Zorak was so low.
Zorak was number 11 for me.
KG, I thought Zorak. Yeah, I was gonna say I thought Zorak would be like in your top 5.
It's lower. It's low for KG, but
It's
Yeah.
6 for me, which is still pretty.
which is right above top 5.
Yeah, right above it. Just a little smidge away from top 5. Honestly, it was that and another film, which you'll see why it's 5 when we get to it. But I should probably talk about one film from my
yeah.
list.
Why the fuck is Lugia so low?
Oh shit!
what
I
the
forgot all
fuck?
about that. Yeah.
You have it at what, 8?
9.
Not what
Oh.
the how?
I
How is
have
movie 2
faith.
that? Jesus Christ!
I hate my life.
That blows me the
look
fuck
at
away.
look at just in the water right now. I
I have failed.
have faith.
That's
The
the one.
song can't restore this.
All right, just real quick. I do want to talk about Zorak real quick. Zorak is just a good ass fucking film.
yeah,
It's-
Zorak's good. I like it.
It's surprisingly good. It's people don't realize it, but Zorak is surprisingly good. It holds
Yeah.
up.
I
very
love the
well.
idea that the idea that a mayor, a huge corporate conglomerate guy is pulling the strings so that they can't even tell the authorities on him because
He literally is.
he's
the big
the
one.
authorities. He pulls all the strings, so there's nothing they can do really about it. He's an actual like antagonist. My only issue, well, I guess you can explain why it's at 7, Terrell.
I mean, it's the premise, it's the execution, and it's fucking Zora. Zora and Zorak's whole relationship is fucking adorable. And I think it's another one of those. Ironically enough, the films that made it high for me are the ones that actually hit me emotionally. Zora and Zorak's relationship was fucking beautiful. I think what hurts it.
Mima.
I think what kind of hurts it is how weirdly fast paced it is in the beginning with introducing the side characters and having everything kind of not resolve itself, but kind of like come to a head quicker than it probably should have. That's a movie that actually could have actually took the time to slow down a little bit, but it's still a great fucking film, and it's easily the best Diamond and Pearl film. But fuck all
Yeah,
that.
out of all the 4 films, I think, and it just pulled on its own. And you say about timing, but I feel like the time that it had was all fully utilized. Everything about the film.
It was. I just felt like it's kind of like Tyrone's justification with Victini, where it could have been better if they had done a little bit more. It's one of those like, it's like you had like an 89 and you were so close to that 90, which would have got you an A. That's what Zorak is for me. It's like
My thing with Zorak that didn't get it a higher spot is Entei, Raiko, Suicune, and Celebi.
Oh yeah.
The reason being is because it was so obvious that this movie was trying to promote, get our DLC, get our promotional Pokemon, go out to your nearest fucking GameStop. And like Celebi, I get it. Whenever you have anything to do with time, you either bring Dialga or Celebi into it. But we already had a movie where Celebi was attacked by some guy who wanted Celebi.
Yeah, the movie was dog shit.
We
I
already.
think the best part about it is that
They
it never
did that.
used the time.
Yeah.
It never needed to use
Well,
time. The purpose was trying to go to.
This film is another example of changing lore for the sake of plot. It changes some of the lore for Celebi for the sake of the
Yeah.
plot at hand. But fuck
Yeah, and like Orange Sword just said here, right here, this movie was literally Get Heart Gold and Soul Silver the games.
that's fine. But here, listen.
Also, Black and White's
I
coming
mean,
out.
all right, but
I
listen,
mean,
listen. Fuck all that, real quick. KG, what the fuck is going on with
When movie
Movie
8,
2.
when movie 2
with
is your
number
number
2
eight.
Yeah, what the fuck,
being
man?
number 9? It's not even like it's 6. You had that bitch at 9. Yeah.
You do have to explain that, KG.
Why?
Oh man, it's the power of one. I will say I love the film. I understand. First of all, to be in top 10 and to begin with is still a good thing. It's just to me
No.
personally, the power of one. I think my biggest issues with it was the fact that, for starters, we had a trainer that was never utilized in that film.
You guys
Tracy-
talking about me?
Yeah, that asshole.
That's the
hell's
only
that?
line I think he has in that fucking movie.
I think so too. Honestly, I don't even know.
Never
Yeah,
What
heard
it
of it
is.
in my life.
Yeah, so it hurt me a lot with that. And also,
they cut out one of his lines that was in the Japanese version.
oh really?
He has
My
more, he
thing
has
was
a little bit more lines, but go ahead.
yeah, it's just that for me, it's just honestly, I think I was at that time as well with Brock bias was actually probably in my mindset because I was still young at the time. And also, I don't know. It's just I feel like the storyline didn't really go so well for me about when Ash and Co got caught in the ship, and then they're just speaking for a ridiculous amount of time, and it didn't feel like that really meshed well for me personally. I love that. I think the weakest part for me was the middle point of the film. The beginning and the end, the climax were the best parts, but the middle part of the film, honestly, was really rough. With just having this entire segment of just pure dialogue and standing still in one particular location, not really, moving anywhere, whatnot. That's just how I felt for it. But everything else, though, the beginning, the segment at the fights with the trios and Lugia, that was great. Team Rocket's whole shenanigans at the end was great and heroic as well. But it just didn't really age well for me as compared to the other films I have on this list. That's all. But everyone has their own opinions. I mean, hell, if some people can have, Darkrai all the way up into the top 10, then some people can have some lists like The Power of One that low, because there just might be other films that just do a much better job for them than others, There's one film actually that I'm surprised none of you caught on yet that still hasn't popped up.
Oh, we're gonna get to it probably.
Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah,
all right,
we're
at top five, but we're not gonna do it the way we've been doing it. So top five, we're gonna just name 5 first and talk about it. Name 4, talk about it. 3. Talk
individually.
about it.
Yeah, and then we're just gonna break down.
Also, if you're in the chat and you want to participate, put your number 5s in now. While we
put your
talk
number
about
5s in,
ours.
boys.
So here's
And
my
girls.
number 5, which is funny because of what it is.
Oh, and I guess we should add to this as well. If any of us have any similar, like, if let's say you have the same movie in the same position as like another person, then you guys could probably talk about it at the same time.
So yeah, it's dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, okay.
All right, go ahead, Terrell.
So my number 5 is movie 5.
Hey!
It's
My
with-
number 5 is movie
Mastermind
5.
of Mirage.
My number
No.
Shut the fuck up. Number 5 too. Woo!
Five
Goggle
for
Master,
me.
what the hell?
Well, how dare you? 5 for
Anyway,
me is
Terrell, let's
Pokemon,
go ahead and knock this movie out real
is
fast.
Pokemon Heroes. Go ahead, Tyrone.
Woo!
What's
This movie's
your
great.
5?
It's movie 5.
Okay, wait, all right, hold on. All right, Richie.
Wait, his is movie 5?
Me and Tyrone both have movie 5 as our number.
Yes,
5.
we
Okay.
picked. That's why I was
All
making
right.
the whole. Yeah.
All right, all right. Number 5 for me. Movie 2.
All right.
The Power of One.
Yep.
Okay.
It's in my top
All
5.
All right, KG.
All right.
Number 5 for me, it's gonna be the Kieran film
All right.
from Best Wishes.
We never really talked about the Kieran film.
Well,
I put it at number 6.
Not yet. That's why.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna talk about it yet.
All right, you and
All right.
Tyrell talk.
Yeah, I was saying, let's go. Let's talk about this movie real fast.
It's weird because you would think after all these films, you would think it would move at all. Latios is just a consistent ass film, yo.
It's good.
I can't. And you know what? I thought about moving it like 3 or 4 times and I couldn't do it. I couldn't justify
But
it.
when you say moving it, do you mean up or down?
I was thinking that I needed to move it down, and then I couldn't justify it. Even the films that I thought were better than it, I still enjoy this. This all right. First off, this film has great atmosphere. This film has a great ass soundtrack. It's one of the only films that actually has Pokemon death where it matters, and it also has shipping in it, which you can take or leave as a positive.
The movie does a really good job of one thing that always bugs me about
It's
Pokemon
atmospheric.
movies. Yeah, one thing that bugs me about Pokemon movies is if your character isn't needed, then why is it here? Oh, because they're traveling together? Well, that sucks because then you wind up with movies like Giratina's where Brock is literally pointing out that he's dead weight.
Thank you.
This
Dub.
movie does a great job of just taking Misty and Brock, putting them in the back seat for a bit, and then when the movie's over, have Ash regroup with them. This works a lot better because now we can focus on the characters that are on screen. We don't have to worry about the others because we're gonna double down on Ash's focus here because this is Ash's movie. And then like the movie actually talks about death. It focuses on it. The Pokemon doesn't magically come the fuck back to life at the end of the movie because they cried. No, we lost Latios. He's gone. Deal with it. Like adults.
Ooh,
And that soundtrack, oh, the Secret Garden. Oh,
that was a pretty good song.
the Secret Garden's so good.
It is so good.
Oh, or the
The
song where
vocal
Ash-
version of that song?
Yeah, no, yes, I love the English. I love
Yeah,
the broken
no,
English.
it works so well. I thought that was part of the original dubbing, but it's actually in the.
No, it's in the
Japanese
Japanese
version,
version too. It's so good. And oh, don't even get me started on the song where Ash is chasing Latias in
the
human
camera
form.
motion in that
Yes,
scene.
in the city, it's so beautiful. In the Italian music or whatever, like it fits everything. It's beautiful. This movie's great. The only reason it's not higher, the villains are kind of low key, kind of lame, but they still work. They're still serious enough.
Sweet.
But yeah, the villains kind of suck.
Yeah, that's why Latios and Latias for me is a little. Just because the villains didn't really do much, and it's worse when you find out that they're also part of the. I think they're part of the Rockets or not.
Okay,
Mhm,
the English version.
in the
says
dub
they're part
they
of the
are,
Rockets.
in the Japanese version they aren't.
In Japan, they don't say anything.
Interesting. So
was
that
something-
might be why.
That's
Yeah.
what the dub added.
Yeah.
Just to piggyback off what Tyrone said real quick. Heroes, just like I said, has great I can't talk now. Great,
Cinematography.
yeah, cinematography. Why I still can't say it. That's fucking terrible. Ah!
Don't worry, it's a big word.
It's not.
It's a
That's
long
what makes
day.
me angry.
I think that made it worse. Don't undermine me.
You son of a
Like
bitch.
potato.
It looks good, it sounds good, and it has a good story that has weight to it. I like it a lot. Okay, and then KG, hold off on yours,
All right.
and Richie's is
Richie.
the power of one. Which do we want to talk about? Because we know at least for me and Tyrone, it's also in top 5, right?
Yes.
Do we
I
want
mean,
to hold?
but
But how? I wonder how far though. I'm curious.
We'll get into that.
We'll hold off on Lugia only because Lugia is too.
Let's just say, Richie, do you have any comments on it real fast?
Yeah, anything minor.
It was a good ass fucking film, and I loved it.
All right. All right. With that being said, KG, the spotlight's on you.
No.
No. We said we're gonna hold on that just a bit until we get to Terrell's.
We're gonna do
Okay.
we're gonna do number 4.
Oh shit.
Four,
Okay.
4 for me is the Kirim film.
Oh.
Tyrone.
4 for me is Lugia.
Okay. Damn dog. Richie.
Damn dog.
Damn dog.
Damn dog.
Richie. What's your number 4?
Number 4 for me is the Entei movie.
I'll kill you, you motherfucker.
And KG. What's your number 4?
Looks like you're gonna have to add another depth to that list, Tyrone, because Entei's number 4.
What the fuck is wrong with
Wait,
your face?
wait. What's number 4?
Entei.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'll kill you, motherfucker.
How? Okay, all right. Before that happens, Kirim, KG, Kirim is so fucking good.
It's such an underrated film of the bunch. I hate that so many people neglect it because Iris and silent, but it does everything that's like so good. It genuinely reminds me of the other film I just brought up, Entei, but like in the modern era and tweaks things up to
That's
make
literally
things
what
a
it
little
is.
bit better.
That's literally
It's so
what it is.
good. It's so genuinely fun
Kirim
to
is
watch.
such a good film. That is, I actually would say that's the best wishes film.
Even the dog is just as pissed.
That is the best wishes film. The story with Keldeo is fucking tight. It's not like there's no wasted moment because you get the flashback with the 3 swords of justice and Keldeo who's too full of himself and he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He goes in there, he recklessly charges in and tries to fight Kirim, and then he gets his soul crushed, and he has to spend the rest of the movie building his shit back up.
And also, Ash takes a backseat in this film for once. That's the other good thing.
He takes a back seat, but he's also still holding him down. He's like the coach in the background.
Yeah, he's trying to teach Keldeo exactly what is the smart decision to do when moving forward. Like first of all, the fact that I like how every single main character, Silent, Iris, and Ash, have all taken some spotlight in the film. Silent in the train. I forgot what it was with Iris in particular.
Iris was on that balloon.
Yeah, she was on the balloon. Using that as a way to kind of deceive the Cryogonal and cure him from where Keldeo and Ash are in the film, and just taking these moments to sort of develop these characters as well, and just utilize them in ways you wouldn't think they would be handled. And I think the other thing is they also use the environment that they're in perfectly well too.
Yeah.
The setting, the location. I feel everything about it was handled beautifully. I genuinely had a lot of fun with this film, man.
It's so good.
Also, the best scene to me in that film, honestly, Kelly or like flying in the air with the jet water that's coming out of Kelly's
that
foot.
was some epic shit.
And then sliding in the ice in the lake as well while the Cryogonals are coming by. Like, holy shit. They used the city really well, honestly.
Yeah, and they don't have any filler. It's like one of the few films that doesn't have like fucking friend characters and shit.
Yeah, that's another thing too. And also my favorite scene as well, when we're just talking about laid back moments, was when they were just at the picnic as well.
Yeah,
and you see the chemistry between Keldeo and Ash there, choking on the sandwich and whatnot.
Also best boy Vic Mignogna.
Dude, he did great with Keldeo, man.
Justice.
Okay.
I loved everything about this film, and I think it's the best wishes film, honestly. It is. It
100% is.
Mm-hmm.
So now we got to talk about you and Richie's weird ass decision to have fucking Entei so goddamn long. Why?
All right. Well, you see,
You see.
they're just other films that are just higher than that.
I will fucking kill you. I will massacre you. Do you have any idea?
First of all, to be in the top 5 is still pretty great, man.
Yeah, it is. That's why I'm not. That's why when I kill you guys, it won't be painful.
Also, you guys gotta have some look into other films that aren't OS, man.
Google Master. What do you mean it was boring?
Goggle Master. Give me this.
Oh man, I love the film.
I will torture you and make you. I will torture you, and the last thing you will see is movie 3, you motherfucker.
Okay, I'll just say this: movie 3, while still great and still manages to hold on its own, as being one of the best, if not, I think the best of the bunch in OS. Personally, I just found more enjoyment out of the other 3 films that will be brought up soon enough, and I'll explain my reasoning then. But until that time comes, though, Entei still manages to.
You know what?
He
put it in a top 5. It's number 4.
Stop.
So
I'm
not gonna.
The stream screwed me again.
All right.
Keldeo was my number 4, so my number 3 is The Power of Us. This is number 3.
Wait, The Power of Us?
Yeah, The Power of Us.
Oh,
Tyrone, what is your number 3, buddy?
that makes me sad. I gotta be The Power of 1.
So
No, the power.
No,
Go on, Tyrone. What's your number?
Tyrone, is The Power 1 your number 3?
No, my number 3 is Lucario.
Okay, Richie.
My number 3 is also like Tyrone's. It's Lucario.
KG.
My number 3 is Lucario.
Yay, Lucario!
Okay, so I guess the odd one of the bunch is
Terrell this time.
Terrell.
The Power of Us is a great film. It's a really good film. I only saw it recently, but it touched my heart and my soul. It's still top 3. God damn
It's
it!
number 3.
It's probably like 1 or 2 for fucking Tyrone, KG, and Richie. But for me, it's number 3 because I'm weak. You know what? I'll be real with you. Up until like this bullshit with the stream, I was very conflicted about whether or not I was gonna switch it to 2. That's how good the film is. The film, up until me saying it, had me conflicted about whether it was gonna be my number 3 or my number 2. Because it's such a good fucking film that didn't sell as well as it should have. Because fuck the Pokemon fan base and your fucking bias towards this Gen 1 bullshit.
He's right.
actually it did pretty well in Japan, from what I heard.
Yeah.
Oh, it did pretty well, but it didn't do as well as like movie 20, movie
20,
22,
just 20.
No, movie 22, which is essentially like, I will say there's differences, obviously, but movie 22's plot is movie 1's, obviously.
And yeah, you guys like Lucario. I mean, Lucario's a good film. Unless y'all just want to go into it.
It's a good film.
It's a good film.
I really love it.
Okay, now we're down.
I like the conflict. I like the conflict Ash has with Lucario, where Lucario is basically like, Pikachu would probably be better off without you.
Yeah,
because
I feel like to me,
you'll probably abandon it. And Ash is like, fuck you, you probably abandoned Sir Orin. And he's like, you take that back, you motherfucker. Make me take it back, you stupid jackal bitch.
Whoa.
Tyro, why?
And they
are you-
jump
And
in
then
the
they
water.
fought each other.
And they're like, Ash, no. And he's like, motherfucker.
Oh my!
No,
oh,
you stupid bitch.
Tyro,
Watch the power.
And then they fucked.
what the fuck?
Whoa.
And then they fucked.
And
Oh,
then
it's
they
true.
fucked.
What? Again?
All right, let's move on.
Okay, so number two. Number two for me is the power of one. So Lugia is my number two.
Okay.
Tyrone.
Number 2 for me is my favorite. Well, one of my favorites. It's Entei.
Oh wow! I just realized what your number one is. Holy shit!
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a long time coming. It's a big character moment for me too, but Entei is my number 2.
Tyrone.
Damn, I wonder what your number 1 is.
Tyrone went through character development. Yo, what do we do? Get that man a trophy. Fuck
Yeah.
that man. That's
Yeah,
not my
it's-
Tyrone the God.
It's Entei, but god damn it, when I tell you this was a long fought fucking number 2 spot.
I can't believe Mastermind and Mirage got your.
I know, right? It brought us all together, and I just can't. Go ahead.
You guys are terrible.
That was beautiful.
Richie.
My number what is the cure?
Oh,
Kira made it far for you.
Wait.
damn! I'm glad.
That's crazy, yo.
I'm glad though. That's really good. And
I
more
mean,
love for Best
Karam is a
Wishes.
great film, so I don't really have any words
It's good.
with
It's
that.
good. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then KG.
Oh man, I don't know how to feel about this because I don't know how people are gonna react. One thing
Oh,
for
no.
sure, I feel you guys are gonna be surprised with this one. It's a film that I'm surprised no one has actually brought up yet. That I've never once mentioned. Number 2 is gonna be Hoopa for me.
You done fucking kill you. This beat fucking Entei. I'm gonna fucking snap your neck, you piece of shit.
Why?
Is that a joke?
No, if you notice, I've never once mentioned the Hoopa film at all whatsoever until
Terrell,
now.
hold me back.
I've thought about this for a long time, and I want to explain in full detail as I explain why Hoopa is number 2.
I've fallen. I can't get up. I've fallen. I can't get up.
I know,
Also,
okay,
are you frozen in my stream? By the way.
No, I'm falling.
So okay,
I'm dead.
okay.
Oh
So
shit! Yeah, there he is.
I'm not as angry as I should be because part of this why is because
Sorry.
I know a little bit of why KG put it this
He's a
high.
fucking asshole. That's why.
Oh, he's an asshole. That's true and true. That's as long as we've known him. But I know what his reason is.
Kevin, no.
He
Sorry.
explained it to us before. I know why it's this way.
Why is it? Let him
The
explain.
KG's gonna
Let him
say it.
explain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Explain.
Hoopa is one of the most entertaining films of this 21 films we've had because of just how fucking bad it is. It is one of those films that is just so goddamn bad that genuinely that's what makes the film so fun to watch because of the incredible amount of nonsense that's just there. And honestly, I wish we did this in DC, by the way. I wish we had the chance when we were there to watch Hoopa together because I genuinely believe we would have gotten more enjoyment out of Hoopa watching it together than just simply, than But yes, Hoopa to me is one of the most enjoyable films to me, but for all the wrong fucking reasons, man. It's just so bad. The goddamn storyline's so bad. The characters are bad. The bullshit plotline is bad. Everything about it is so bad, but it's one of those bad that's just like so fun to watch because it just does nothing but just make you go at it for 2 hours, and I just love about this film for all the wrong reasons, and that's why I put it so high up with this one.
Kevin, I tried to flick you off, and I almost broke my fingers.
God damn, man. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I'm getting an aneurysm. Like,
Don't worry. On the bright side, you'll enjoy. So.
Oh, God.
Tyrone, don't talk about movie 3 yet, because there's gonna be we have to have a conversation about that in a little bit. And then we already really talked about the greatness that is Kiram. So
Yes.
Yeah, well, I guess from Richie's perspective.
Yeah, you want to add anything onto that Kiram thing, Richie?
Minor note, but I said it before. Kiram, at least before the next one, it has been the best Pokemon movie I've seen. Just like from the plot angle, from the character angle, just everything about it just felt right, almost like an ideal Pokemon movie in a way.
Oh,
and the music helps too.
you know what? Orion, I also just want to add this to my hoop a bit too. Orion also brought up something I completely forgot to bring up too. The commentary we did back in 2015 also helped add that more extra layer. But the fucking broken washing machine, the bullshit ass, villain moments, like our commentary genuinely made that a lot more enjoyable for me as a film because everybody hated it. So therefore, everybody just went on a rant on that. I'm sad I don't have the commentary for that no more, man. I'm hurt.
Yeah, I was about to say, does anyone have it?
No, that shit disappeared alongside with everything, man. Sadly.
F.
So,
Oh well.
Fuck you too.
with all the fun stuff out of the way, and the reason why I told Tyrone to wait is because my favorite Pokemon film is Entei. That
Alright. I
film
respect him.
will not
I
be
respect
touched. It's hard. Power of Us came dangerously close.
Wait, wasn't Power of Us number
Three.
three?
Power
What
of
was
Us.
2 again?
It was 3. Lugia was 2.
Oh, okay.
But the thing is, I was constantly conflicted whether I wanted to move Power of Us to switch out with Lugia or not. Power of Us got really fucking close. It's so close, it's scary, but it can't. Entei is just too good. You will that game. I mean, that movie is just a perfect fusion of everything. I don't think that movie's flawed. I can't objectively come up with a reason to dislike that film. That's my favorite film. That's it. Tyrone, go.
Okay, so there's a lot that goes on with my choices because obviously my number one is The Power of Us, but it was not an easy. It's so weird. It's like Terrell's struggle. My struggle was different, and this was a big struggle for me because up till this year, The Power of Us was not my number one. It was obviously movie 3. Movie 3's been my number one for the longest time, like the longest. And do you guys want me to go ahead and reveal why I switched the 2, or just sort of move on and let you guys pick the rest?
No, please explain it because this is the number one.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
go for it.
Yeah, go
so
ahead, buddy.
Power of Us 1 was not an easy win, though. Movie 3 is not far behind. Movie 3 is behind by like 1 speck. Movie 3 is perfect. Like it did, like the main antagonist isn't really so much as an antagonist like a villain. She's more or less like just someone who lost everything, and given her position and her age, she did what she had to do to make herself happy. It just in theory caused other people's lives to suffer. And this was not, fucking legendary Pokemon threatening to destroy the entire world. No, this was just personal. Somebody took Ash's mom. Ash isn't trying to save the fucking world. This is his mom. Like it covered backstory. Like him used to be a kid, hung out with Molly when she was like pretty much an infant. Backstory on Ash's family and how they acted. Ash's mom actually having a legitimate role in the movie. Charizard fucking coming back, and it's a well-deserved comeback after he was gone. It's great. The only reason The Power of Us won was actually pretty recently, after our DC trip. After I watched it again. Being in DC and just watching it with like all of my friends, watching it with Polly, DJ, Richie, Terrell, you know, KG, everybody, Nessa, everybody there, kind of felt like it was in sync with what the movie was supposed to be about. Like everybody was together. Well, TSS wasn't there, but he was there in spirit, you know. Pokemon brought us all together. Pokemon brought us all together. It brought what would otherwise have been separate people all together into one spot. And when we were all enjoying that movie, when we were all laughing at the comedic moments, you know, getting upset with the sad moments, you know, talking with each other, the feeling I had watching it with everybody, knowing that this all started because I was reviewing X and Y videos and I met up with friends and they ended up being one of the best friends I ever had, just being in one spot. And then to see Ash, a character we've known for years, meet up with several characters he's never met before, and they all come together.
An all-new Pokemon adventure.
And an all-new Pokemon adventure. It just, everything made sense to me at that point. Like in terms of how much Pokemon can bring everybody together. So it felt like my experience with the Power of Us became unison with that of us. Literally us. All of us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the message the movie was trying to bring, is like when you're with Pokemon and the people that you care about, then great stuff can happen. And I believe the whole DC trip that I had was an ending result of my love of Pokemon and everybody else's love of Pokemon coming full circle. So that's why it won. It was not an easy win at all. But the movie itself had a really great plot. The movie dealt with actual issues between not just a villain of a movie. It wasn't just a villain. It was just, they had bad people, but they didn't have a villain. But the villain itself was just the conflict that arose from misunderstandings, the way the world works, and just like the mistreatment of how things went. And then as a better understanding, it was all able to come together. So yeah, movie 2021 wins. And I think it's going to be a long time before this movie gets toppled over. So that's my choice.
Okay, Richie.
Number one for me was, I mean, there was like kind of like there was like a little debate I had.
No, we didn't. I didn't hear it. Did you guys?
I didn't hear it. You got cut off, sadly,
Yeah,
Richard.
you got cut off.
What else is new? Number one for me was movie 21.
All right.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I was trying to say a little bit. I was trying to have like a little debate on between 15 and 21, but at the end of the day, what Tyrone said and the impact of us all watching at the room, I think that, along with what the movie was going for, made it easy for me to put it as number one. It was just what Pokemon actually needed as far as a film. This is like ideal, in my opinion.
And KG.
This one was a difficult one to decide whether to... but the reason why this came out in first place, on honesty, was because of the fact, as Tyrone mentioned, and even, Richie here, the added addition to, having the entirety of us just be together in one place to just sit down, relax, chat, and watch together the film, being of the Power of Us, and break it down and talk about all the things that the film was doing, especially when you watch it again, knowing everything that plays out, and then you start noticing the little nods that they throw into the film that you thought didn't make sense at first, but when you watch it a second time around, you start realizing, oh my God, they were foreshadowing this. Perfect example was the granny with her glove. They had a segment where they highlighted that, but that was at the early part of the film when you did not know anything regarding that. It wasn't until later in the film when you discover what exactly made that scene so relevant at the time. So it was able to just like capture everything that I love about a film, and also capture the thing that's most important for any Pokemon film in general that needs to be done, which is allowing viewers to watch something like this together, to enjoy something together, to break things down and to theorize and predict and discuss and all that. Power of Us did pretty much all of that, and in spades. And I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity to view it with you guys, and that honestly was what pushed it to be in number one. I will admit though, had we watched a Hoopa film in DC, I genuinely believe that would have been number one. But we didn't.
I have no words for you, sir.
No, it's just because of the viewing experience.
He's saying because we be trolling at it so hard.
Yeah, and what kind of Pokemon film can you go out of your way to say you would troll something so hard and you would start laughing and bursting into tears about certain shit that doesn't make sense, and like
I almost burst out into tears for movie 21, but for the completely different reason.
I'm talking about bursting into tears of laughter is what I'm referring to, because of the bullshit.
Tears of joy.
CGI Kyogre, bullshit ass Hell City location.
I'm done with you, KG.
Like I'm telling you, from a viewing experience, and people can agree with me on this. Sometimes bad films alone are horrible, but the moment you add more people who also have that same sort of idea or mentality as you do, and you end up watching it together, that changes everything about a series. That's why my enjoyment from our 2015 commentary that we did for was just so fun and so memorable for me. It's just because it was us just goofing around and us just poking fun at what the hell the series was doing and how it ruined stuff for us and whatnot. And it's that little layer there. But Power of Us, we got a chance to watch it, like all 6-7 of us, and that just was so enjoyable. That's something I can easily say I'll never forget. And honestly, to those out there as well who are also going to try maybe like meet up with friends or something along the way, I want you guys to genuinely want you, if like all of you guys are fans of Pokemon, television, all that jazz, I guarantee you, Hoopa is definitely going to be a movie you need to watch together. Power of Us as well, but I really recommend watching together with Hoopa if you guys are big fans of Pokemon, because the things that they attempt in that film are some of the most ridiculous things that honestly you will get a good heartfelt laugh from it.
Just to let you know what's going on.
I'm not trying to sell you, but I'm telling you to go bootleg that thing off.
No, I mean like you're trying to get people to.
You're trying to waste my fucking time. It sounds like what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, watch the dub for the enhancement though. the one occasion where I can say the dub outshines the subbing of the actual film.
You can watch that for the older films, you asshole.
I'm talking about for X and Y era, post fucking Best Wishes and all that shit.
Let's continue this. Where are we at?
Look.
Yeah, Power of Us is a good film. There you go.
Power of Us is a really good film. I love Entei. Entei's so good. It's such a good film.
It is good. Entei's so good.
I couldn't.
Three of Forts disagree.
I think if I give Power of Us a few years and go back and see if I still feel the same way about it. Because like I said, some of these films did change rankings for me based off of how long it had been since I watched the film. I don't know where Power of Us will land in like a few more years. But I am happy I've done this entire experience because I got to watch literally every single movie. I've seen every single movie now. I'm all caught up, everybody. Mom, I made it. I also got to re-experience certain movies in Japanese, which I hadn't done for some of the movies at all. Pokemon has a lot of good films. Pokemon also has a lot of bullshit-ass films.
Yep.
Bullshit, but enjoyable.
Oh, goodness.
That's debatable, sir. Is the Giratina film good? No. Is the Giratina film enjoyable? Fuck no. So as we learned, none of that shit's good, alright?
Hoopa would like to disagree.
Alright, you have Hoopa at number 2, so obviously you didn't even think it was bad. Would you say your number 21 film is a film you will rewatch over and over again? I think not, sir. I think
yes.
What was his movie 21?
What was it?
Movie 21?
What was your 21?
Oh, that was Giratina.
Exactly, because it's a dog shit ass film. But with all that being said, thank you for putting up with all the trials and tribulations tonight that I didn't expect to happen. Sky Warrior is not good. Save Savion. You're a liar. I'm sorry. It's my opinion. It's my opinion, but you are a liar.
You're entitled to your opinion. Your opinion is wrong.
Yeah, that's literally what it is.
It's okay to be wrong.
We did the Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, we
film.
already did that.
We did that when the movie came out.
We did two, actually. We did one for the PokePie and one for Trail's channel.
Yeah, it's on my channel. It's on the Schizomanic channel. Yeah, I think that's it. I think
That gets its own. That's in its own separate ranking. System.
That the Legends.
I don't put that
Mastermind.
I don't put
No,
that in.
Mastermind and
Mewtwo
Legends
Strikes
don't even
Back of the
No,
sequel.
we
No,
are not
man.
putting Mewtwo fucking Returns on here.
And for those who are asking us to review those, they're already reviewed and they're already
Yeah,
on the
we
channel.
reviewed them, and they are not good enough to even be on the fucking list. Because one, they're not movies, and two,
They're
not
specials.
good. Yeah, they're OVA. If we had to rank the OVAs, which ones would?
No,
There's
really.
3. So
What? It's
Yeah, where would you put the rankings for the 3 OVA?
Legend of Thunder would be the best one for me, and then after that, I guess it would be Mewtwo Returns, and the last one being Mastermind.
Okay, but where would they actually fit in the list?
Oh, I wouldn't put them in the
I'm not
list.
putting them in the list.
I'm
Yeah,
not-
we're
I
not
wouldn't
doing
put
that.
it in
That's a
Yeah,
good point.
that's
That's
too
a good point.
stressful.
No. Instead of like putting the list,
Damn.
If we had KG, if we had to put them on the list, it'd be 23, 22, and no, it'd be 24, 23, and 22.
Yeah.
Really, Giratina still outshines them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gar-
so
Gar-
Giratina beat something, but it was a hard way coming.
Yeah.
And also, it was something that was not even. It was
Right.
just OVAs.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. Anywho, it's been a long stream, longer than
Yeah.
it should have been because it's been split up like 3 or 4 times.
Mm.
KG, do you still plan to stream Astral Chain tonight or no?
Probably, but I'm gonna probably try to catch up with family first before anything since they came back from their vacation.
So,
And then I'll stream like maybe in an hour from now.
Uh,
Because I also gotta set up the equipment as well. I forgot to do that.
So go watch KG's stream. We'll probably, at least I know I'll probably hop in there a little bit. I probably won't watch the stream. I'll probably just be chatting, only because I don't want to spoil myself on the game that I just bought.
Yeah, that's another thing. The reason why I want to do
So I'll probably
enjoy the ride.
Yeah, so I'll probably at least be talking in the stream with KG in Discord. I don't know if Tyrone or
I
Richie
may
will.
or may show up. That's up to fate.
What do you mean up to fate?
Whoa.
The wheels of fate is turning.
Right.
Also, Terrell, your stream's just
Yeah, the stream just died.
All right, cool. That's Gary with
life's a game, play to win. Having a good time. Peace.
Yeah, live game, let it win.
Pisu.
We're out. I'm out.
That
He
was
says Pisu.
I'm
Right?
out.
I
I'm
thought
out,
it was
everybody. I'm dead.
yeah, peace.
I'm
I
fucking dead.
Peace.
Fuck you,
thought it was
Twitch.
peso.
That's how I'm ending this video.
Look,
Fuck
best
you,
yeah, it was
Twitch.
peaceful.
Look, he's weird.
Fuck you, Twitch.
All right, guys. I gotta head off.
Really, actually, you concluded like that.
Fuck
I gotta
you,
head
Twitch.
off. If I